Well, hey neighbors, and welcome to the Shed Shop. In this video, we're going to go ahead and be diagnosing welcome to the Shed Shop. We are going to go ahead and diagnose a stihl 024 in this video. Does that sound better, neighbors? This is some work that was subbed out to me by Dammit Bobby, subscriber Dammit Bobby. He is also a 2- and 4-stroke mechanic, and sometimes he sends some of the 2-stroke stuff my way. Him and Mike Honcho donate lots of parts to help with current or future projects. They are trying to help the Shed Shop become successful in the capacity of life that they are able to, and they have been just an unbelievable, astronomical blessing to my life with all the parts donations they've made. Dammit Bobby helps give me advice on 4-stroke stuff and whatnot sometimes, and I'm greatly appreciative of that. And so basically, sometimes I get some of his 2-stroke work because he prefers working on 4-stroke stuff, and sometimes he doesn't like working on certain models or whatever, and so he'll say, hey, you want the chit I don't want to work on? And I'll say, yeah, neighbor, thanks so much. And so he does. He refers a lot of business to me. But the reason we're talking about him and the referral and everything else right now is not just to let you know what's going on. It's also to tell you one of the referrals he made to me. His name is Bo. We worked on neighbor Bo's 028 on the channel. We cut with it alongside neighbor Mike's 026. And hey, neighbor Mike said his 026, his 261's running great, but his 026, he said he took it home and it wouldn't start. And again, that's all. Started right up in front of my neighbor in my driveway, and then they take it home and it won't start. And I think oftentimes what happens is, like neighbor Amy said up at Lewisburg Outdoor Power, her and her husband are mechanics. She said, we rebuild or service this all, and somebody's used to pulling the cord 6 times to get it to burp on full choke, and when they pull it one time and they miss the burp, like I said, you guys, you got to understand, if your stall hasn't been serviced in years or hasn't run in years, it's not going to start as hard as you remember. A lot of times, first pull on full choke on a lot of these stihls, if they're serviced right, if they're done right, you pull one time, it'll burp. You click your switch up 1, 2, sometimes 3 pulls, and it will start up. Not always, but almost always. And so you have to understand to be able to also listen if you have flooded your saw, in case you missed that. You have to know what's happening when you pull cord to understand what it sounds like when your saw is flooded and it's just getting more and more fuel, and there's too much fuel for a spark to create combustion. There's no, okay, because you have to understand, you can put a cigarette in gasoline all day and it's not going to ignite. It will ignite the fumes, but the liquid, it will not ignite. The spark from that spark plug is meant to ignite the fumes and cause all the liquid to combust. The fumes and liquid to combust, push the piston down. Okay, when you get too much fluid up there, there's no spark being created, period. So even if there was, it's a spark in a puddle of fluid that it can't do anything with because it's suffocated. It needs to ignite fumes, not liquid. Okay, and that being said, Bo has basically told me I've done him dirty. It must be another saw on my channel. He says things to the extent of, did you zoom in on the serial number and then zoom out and do your work? Or zoom in while you're cutting and then zoom out. You probably didn't. And I mean, the accusations this guy has made against me when his saw sat here for more than 3 months, when I would wait 2 and 3 weeks to get a response from him, whether I could spend $5 on a fucking fuel line or whatever parts I needed, and got no response, neighbors. It took weeks and weeks and weeks, and then for 2 months I waited to get paid. And this neighbor doesn't understand. Neighbors, if you bring your stuff to my shed shop and I'll work on it, and it consumes a portion of my week, and you and the other neighbor's stuff that I worked on that week don't pay me for whatever reason, I didn't get my paycheck. You're withholding my paycheck. Now this neighbor in the end finally told me, hey, I don't got the money to pay you right now. I said, well, shit, neighbor, no worries. I wish you'd have told me that. Pay for a portion of your bill. Pay the rest later. Or pay a little bit now and I'll keep your saw and pay the rest later. I usually extend trust and say, that's okay, neighbor. If it's somebody I feel I can trust. And even sometimes when it's not, because sometimes you get done dirty, but when you extend people trust, it in turn naturally brings trust your way. It allows people to extend you trust when you need something, when you might not have money to pay a bill for a service or something, or when you might need help with this or help with that from your neighbor. You know, we have to extend trust to each other, your neighbors. That's why I say be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. We're doing it wrong. We're just getting it wrong. In this situation with this customer, I don't want to record my diagnostics on this saw, but his shitty behavior to me is part of the reason why I've expressed to you neighbors why I really do want to record everything. I don't want to be able to be falsely accused. One thing I've never been able to stand in my life is my daddy always told me it doesn't matter what people think, and it doesn't, but it does to me. Okay, because if you can't see that there's some people that aren't just completely shitty and really are much better than 99%, I mean, please don't take that the wrong way, really have a stronger moral compass than 99% of people you've ever met in your life. Well, neighbors, we're never going to get nowhere if that's our view. I want people to see I'm real. I'm honest. I have no reason to do you dirty. But when people come against my character and it's not true, that's when I really get mad. And that's when I'll really be shitty to you. If I try to be nice to you, even if I've been shitty, okay, so if you call me and you're being real shitty to me and I tell you, no, stop, you need to calm the fuck down. I can't stand being told to calm down, but I told this man to calm down because he was screaming at me in the middle of a business. I pick up my phone. He sent me a couple of text messages 10 minutes prior, and if I'd have looked at the video, I'd have seen, neighbors, I'm gonna merge that video to this one probably too, I hope, or I'll upload it and I'll give you an info card and a link at the end for just a 30-second clip, and then you can tell me why the hell his saw won't start, neighbors. I don't want to ruin it, but I've got multiple people already verifying to me we knew exactly what was wrong whilst he was on the phone before I ever watched this video. What was wrong with his stihl 028 that he was accusing me of ripping him off on and not doing any work to, basically, is what he told me. I don't care the saw ran when you had it. It must not have been this saw because this saw doesn't run now, and you want to tell me it's my fault because I'm not starting it right. Well, neighbor Bo, yeah, neighbor, it's your fault for not starting your shit right. At least according to the consensus right now, which is 7 people have diagnosed just by your 30-second video. And they've asked me a couple of facts. What I've been limited, what I'll tell them. Because I don't want to be considered leading if this was a court of law. You might say I'm leading the witness. 7 people. 7 neighbors. 2 of them master mechanics. With over 40 years experience between the 2 of them. Immediately told me what they think is wrong with this saw. And that's what we told this man while he was on the phone. Me and the mechanic at the dealer, the Husqvarna dealer. Where everybody had to hear this man screaming at me, threatening me with physical violence. This is why I record shit. So, neighbor Ernest, here's your stihl 028. Other neighbors, I'm sorry, 024. Other neighbors, this is a stihl 024. Damn it, Bobby seems to think that it's just a carburetor issue. Okay? But that being said, he doesn't do a lot of rebuilding carburetors. He doesn't like messing with those little parts, I think it is. He doesn't like to rebuild carburetors. It's not his fancy. Okay, and a lot of people are like that. They'd rather spend $50 on a brand new one and say, I'm fucking with that shit. And you see all those little tiny parts. You see all the problems it could potentially have if there's rancid gas gooped up in just one channel and I missed even a tiny bit somewhere and it ends up going into the channel. Then my neighbor will tell me I did him dirty. And I fucking ripped him off, maybe. So he doesn't like working on carburetors. And this is why we don't do a lot of shit in this business, because we get accused of bullshit. That's why, neighbors. It's largely why. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump, since, damn it, Bobby already has the carburetor off, the throttle lever off. We're going to put a flange on this right away. We're going to pull the muffler blockade off, and we're going to vacuum pressure test this. That's the first thing we're doing. And if we don't present air leak, we'll rebuild the carburetor. We'll clean the fuel pickup body or replace it. We'll clean and or replace the spark plug. Check for spark. And if all that's good, this all should be good to go, and my neighbor's bill will be low. We're just going to go through basic stuff like that. That being said, this was way too long of an intro, neighbors. I'm sorry, it always is. But you know, if you're part of this channel, you already know my intros are oftentimes my break from work. And so, let's go ahead, down to the bench, turned down to the bench, vice neighbors. Nope, you know, because I got to pull muffler. It's going to be a little bit easier. I always do this to myself. I got to pull muffler. And so, it's kind of hard in my vise because I can't get the right angle to get my drill on my muffler. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab an impact for now. we're going to be very careful using an impact on muffler bolts because they can very easily strip out. Okay. And so since I saw it turn right away with my first click, I'm feeling safe. And I'll do the same thing with the other one. Make sure it starts turning and nothing's stripping out. I'm looking at his spark screen. It looks pretty plugged up too, actually. I don't know if Damn It Bobby took the time to look at it or not. It looks pretty gooped up in there. Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead and remove that and just kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Okay. It is really sad, honestly, neighbors, that a lot of times I don't work because I can't record because I'm afraid of being accused of doing something dirty. You know, especially when Chit is not going right with stuff. And neighbors have like immediately a crankshaft seal, and immediately their bill went from, it was going to potentially be $50 shop charge to, you know, a couple $100 labor. And so people a lot of times think you're doing them shady because unfortunately everybody's out doing everybody shitty. Okay, the spark screen's not as bad as I thought it was. I don't personally love these things. Okay, so there's our muffler hardware. We got 2 more T27 bolts back here for our muffler. Okay, and we only need to loosen these ones because all we're trying to do, well, usually you do take the muffler gasket off, but it looks like it's pretty sealed tight, so all we're trying to do is block this off back here. That's going to be too small of a slide, I think. Here's my larger one. Okay. We're just trying to block that off and prevent air from entering or escaping from the motor when we put our pump to it. Okay. And that's the other thing when you edit footage. I mean, this is, you just have some people, I mean, you edit footage, if you prove to them everything else you did was honest and not dirty, then they'll say, well, you edited your footage. And so if your footage is not edited, well, then they're the type of people that it seems like they'll just, oh, CGI. You know, like some people, you just can't please them, neighbors. They're gonna call you shitty no matter what. And you try and help them understand that not everybody's out to get you, neighbor. Not everybody in the world is shitty. 99% might be. But you got to give those of us that aren't a chance to show you that we're not when you think you've been done dirty, even though you haven't been, just because you're so used to being done dirty, apparently. I feel sorry for Bo, that he's been done so dirty by other human beings, just like I have, that he automatically goes to being violent and then being an asshole, because within 10 minutes of him sending me his text, even though it takes him months to respond to me, weeks and months to respond to me, when I'm like, neighbor, please, I've expressed to you, your shit is on my bench. When your shit's on my bench, I work in a small space. I give you a very fair wage, very fair price, and I do really good work, and I'm very thorough. Okay? When Chit, forgot where I was, neighbors. Chit, sorry. Accusations. Let's see. I do good work. Oh, when your Chit's on my bench, you need to be able to answer your phone. A lot of my neighbors don't answer their damn phone, and I try to explain to them, I can keep your bill a lot lower because then I'm more willing to cut my labor costs down for you if you answer your phone and communicate with me. Because then I can just keep working on your Chit. I don't have to put it in a box. And that means hella less time invested in working on your Chit. And if I have to invest less time, I'm always willing to pass that to my neighbors for savings. Okay, you understand? Okay, so now I got this specialty flange I purchased. I think I got this one on eBay. Every once in a while you can find people that are selling their old specialty tools, or you find a steel dealer that's selling specialty tools on eBay. Okay, in their eBay store. Can't get every specialty tool from Stihl. I probably could, because I know people that love me enough to help my life like that and not think just about selfishness and other things. And so I probably could get every specialty tool. I won't mention by who, but he knows who he is. They know who they are. Thanks, neighbors. I'm pretty sure you are on the channel. I say pretty sure, but I'm 100% sure you're on the channel. I'm just not sure if you're here right now listening to this. But anyways, the point being that you can sometimes find specialty tools on the internet that will help your life and make it easier that you can't normally get as a civilian, quote, civilian. Okay, so we'll snug those. Okay, and then I'll torque them down just a little bit. Might need a little more. We'll grab our Mighty Vac. Again, thank you, neighbor Keith, for your donation to help pay for the Mighty Vac vacuum pressure tester. And thank you, neighbor Rob Weaver, for your vacuum pressure tester you had sent before you knew we replaced the vacuum pressure tester that broke. So thank you very much, neighbors, both of you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go vacuum first, and then if I've got an obvious leak, I'll switch right to pressure and start spraying everything. Yeah, we've got a 100% leak. Okay, but the question is it human error? Right away we want to go to human error. I really need to set up Dawn dish soap because this is cleaner and it's not perfect. Did I get my impulse hose sealed? I did. Okay. I'm sorry, neighbors. I was doing vacuum. That was foolish. I could have sucked chit into his motor. We've got a very, very, very blatant leak. Very blatant. And I believe it's going to be... It's such a strong leak, I think it's a crankshaft seal. Because I don't see any air bubbles presenting around my stuff. So I don't think it's human error. Let's see. Let's let it set for a minute. And it seemed like it was leaking a lot faster than that. And now it seems to be holding. My concern with that is if we did vacuum initially and then we had to do a heavy vacuum, I wonder if his dust lips on his crankshaft seals are not good. The thing is, I hate doing work on a neighbor's stuff and then finding new issues. That is one of the reasons I'm very thorough in my diagnostics at a very low price. It's to help your life, and it's also to make my life better and easier, because I don't, again, like having to go backwards. I'd rather find all the problems up front that I can. We do have a slow leak, but it's very slow. It's very... Oh, see? I just heard bubbles. Okay, that's just our cleaner here dissipating. Okay. It's very, very slow, neighbors. Very, 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 very slow. So it could be spark plug, it could be human error, and it could be a crankshaft seal. Just the way it reacted initially does give me a little bit concern of a crankshaft seal leaking. However, I'm not pulling his whole saw apart to verify that fact or not. What I will do... Yeah, it's incredibly slow. We haven't even lost a half a pound quite. Almost a half a pound. Let's see, 5, 6, 7. We're at 8 pounds right now, neighbors. Exactly 8. I'm going to keep trying to find it whilst we talk. The thing is, a lot of times if you can just hit it and wait a minute, those bubbles will just start coming up out of nowhere. I'm not seeing any human error at my attachments. I'm not seeing any obvious leaks on his impulse boot. The impulse line is hard to see most of it, but what I can see and what I can get wet, I don't see obvious. By obvious, it's not always obvious, neighbors. Leaks are not always easily presenting. I don't see anything that is just blatantly obvious, but we have lost, again, only like a quarter pound. It's so minute, neighbors. It leads me to believe that it's one of those old steel air leaks that are going to be freaking back here or something silly. So we'll I actually, you know what? I think I have a rebuilt carburetor for this saw. No, I don't. I just put it on another 028 for a neighbor across the street. Let's see, is this one rebuilt? It is not. And so I don't have a rebuilt carburetor for that, neighbors. However, I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild the carburetor, and then we'll see if this saw starts. And so what I'll do is, since this is 20 minutes, I'm gonna rebuild the carburetor, and we'll make that a second video to this saw. I'll show you how to rebuild your stihl 024 carburetor. I will make that the end card here for you, neighbors. And then be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell notification so you get all my future content, and so you can see me decide whether I'm going to call people by first and last name completely that do me dirty, customers or not. It's time we hold each other accountable for our behavior, and I think the only way whatever creator there is going to let my life succeed is if I can just say screw it and not worry about whether people don't want to bring. Some people won't want to bring their stuff to me because they're like, wow, if I piss this guy off, he's going to call me out on the internet and say shit about me. Well, I can promise you one thing, neighbors, I might do that, but I won't lie. I won't say you did something shitty that you didn't do. I won't say you said something that you didn't say. I will be honest, but if you do me shitty in your character, and especially if I know your beliefs and you're professing Jesus Christ, if you are professing Jesus Christ actively to me, well then, neighbors, I'm going to hold you even highly more accountable, okay? This spark plug looks brand new. Brand spanking new. 100% new. Damn it, Bobby must have put a new plug in it and tried it, and it didn't work. He probably cleaned the carburetor, maybe, I'm guessing. Put a new plug in, it didn't work. But if he just cleaned the carburetor, he probably didn't have a kit in stock. And if he just cleaned it, he probably, if he's saying it's the carburetor, I'm saying probably, but theoretically, he could have opened the carburetor up and thought, well, I can clean this, but it might not work. And if that was the case, a lot of times, like I said, he does not mind. He'll tell his neighbor, hey, there's no bill from me, but here's a guy that you can take it to. Because whatever reason I have that I don't or cannot work on your chit, okay? And then, damn it, Bobby will refer them out to me. And he does do that a lot. He does kindly not charge people if it's something he decides he doesn't want to repair. And he also, like me, sometimes when it's something so silly and stupid and simple, he'll say, no fret, neighbor. Here's what was wrong. Just tell your friends I'm here, and bring your chit to me in the future. And I like that because we're able to explain to our neighbors, hey, listen, we're not going to necessarily charge you because we've only worked for 10 minutes, but we would appreciate if you tip us for our skills and for our time. And I don't mean just 10 minutes. It's not always just 10 minutes, okay? He's going to need a new gasket no matter what. I'm going ahead and pull the muffler all the way because we want to inspect this piston. I'm guessing, damn it, Bobby may have already done it. Oh, chit, no. Damn it, Bobby definitely didn't do this. Holy chit, neighbors. See, this is what I hate. Now, is this neighbor going to accuse me of CGI and some shit, or doing some fake shit? Or, see, this is my life. Welcome to my luck. Or doing some fake shit, like neighbor Bo is doing right now. Am I CGIing your saw, neighbor? I haven't said your name yet. Am I CGIing your saw? Or can you trust me that I'm honest enough? I have no reason now I can't get paid anything but a diag fee. Okay, your piston is scored to shit, neighbor. You need a new top end. Okay, I don't sand cylinders anymore. I don't have time. If it doesn't need sanded, I might be able to save your cylinder, but you need a new top end, neighbor. And I don't have any. The only 024 I have also has a scored top end. Okay, so that's ruined, neighbor. I don't know if Damn It Bobby looked at this or not. I thought he said he thinks it's the carburetor, but I know he didn't do a whole lot of looking into the saw because he can't get certain parts for it, and he doesn't use aftermarket parts. He has a preference against them for reasons we won't discuss. But unfortunately, there's your piston, neighbor. There's nothing I can do about that, okay? Nothing. I've not lied to you or done you dirty, even though Bo would say I'm lying to you and doing you dirty. I've not, neighbor. Okay, so that's going to be it, unfortunately, neighbors. Since I now am putting this saw away, I'm going to end up having to go get his Echo. He's got a big ass Echo. He might want both saws rebuilt, but I don't know, man. The 024 is a great saw, but if you have to put a top end on it and pay labor, I don't know if he's going to want to do that or not. I think he said he has had this one a long time, so he might. But I hate finding that shit, neighbors. I really do. Because a lot of guys and gals in this business, a lot of people about shit like that and say it's worse than it is, and then charge them all kinds of money to rebuild their saw when all they did was tune it up. I just am not that guy. I never did that to my customers. I just sold saws when I was on drugs before, you guys, many years ago. It's been over a decade since I was on drugs running a business. I would sell my saws that I purchased privately. I would sell them as fully rebuilt when they weren't rebuilt. Okay, and I did that on eBay, and to my local neighbors, I would just service them and make sure everything was going to be okay. And I would clean them up and sell them as rebuilt. I would say I re-ringed them and this and that and this and that, and I didn't. And I exposed that. And Bo, you want to use that against me, neighbor? This is the reason I put my chit on the film. Because I used to be shitty. And now I have evidence that I'm doing it right, and I'm being honest with you, neighbors. I'm showing you my work as much as I can, but I can only record so much. It is so much extra work doing the footage, and not to mention it doesn't end up in the format and edited the way I want it to be, okay, because it's already so much work, and because my internet and my computer are shitty technology. It makes it hard to bring you content. Neighbor Bo saw this guy that's fucking accusing me of working on a different saw on camera than his, and apparently starting a different saw somehow and doing sleight of hand to put his saw in the trunk of his wife's car while she was here. I guess I started somebody else's saw and then sneakily put a different saw, even though it went straight from my hands to her trunk. Somehow I did the sleight of hand and pulled another 028 out of my wrist sleeve. Is basically what Neighbor Bo has said. That's literally the severity of the accusations against me, neighbors. That's the severity of it. Like, it's not actually his saw on camera. It's not his saw cutting. Even though there's clear identifiers, it's not his. Okay? So basically he's saying there's no way I didn't start this saw right, or something has happened, like it tipped over in the truck and flooded out and fuel poured in, etc, 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 etc. No. This neighbor just flat out said, you're a fucking liar. And this saw never ran in your possession. It must have been another saw. His wife saw it start. Be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. Part of the battle in my head is this shit, neighbors. I want to cover my ass because I hate when people call me a liar when I'm not. I hate when people call me violent when I'm not. I hate that shit. Okay? All I have is my character. That's it. All I've got is my integrity and my honesty. I ain't got shit in life. Never had, probably never will. But I cling hard to the fact that I am honest, and I am sincere, and I care about people. I love all 8 billion of you, goddammit, even though I suck at it. Is King Jesus on the throne or not? Is this all divine or not? Is all my turmoil, trials, and shitty luck to make your lives better or not? Stay tuned to find out, neighbors. Until next time, let's try to keep perseverance shit.